Welcome back to PawsCast. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Dune the Fox, a collection of grease after you've cooked a ton of bacon. Wow. And I am joined today by one other fuzzy aminal who will probably be here for a while, much to his big, shit-eating chagrin. It's Damaron, the Arctic Waff.
Boy, this punk is starting to look more and more like the bacon grease after it dries. Just a big old clump stuck to the bottom of the pan.
So today, I really wanted to do this episode with you specifically. So today we're going to be talking about movies.
Hit me with it.
Okay.
Why movies?
Movies because you truly are probably the maximum ability cinephile that I know of. And I'm turning more into a film nut slowly but surely. There's a lot of films I have not seen, but I'm learning, I end up watching a lot of these movies analytically anyway for production technique or writing technique or something, So a lot of like the nerdy parts of film are becoming much more appealing to me.
Well, that's cool.
Which I think would be the same for you, to be honest.
I just love movies.
Yeah. But you like being a director too.
Yeah. I mean, I've done indie film in the past and had a chance to be in part of different productions. So yeah, it entices me. I enjoy it.
Absolutely. All right. So to kick us off, what is or are, because there might be multiple, this one's tough, but like your favorite movies. What's your favorite movie or movies?
Well, I always talk about my top 20 or top 5 and whatnot.
Yeah, a very small range that.
There's various categories, but I have probably my top 3 would be The Quick and the Dead by Sam Raimi.
Sure.
It has a really good all-star cast. It's a Western. It's about a quick draw competition. And Sharon Stone is the main protagonist. You got Russell Crowe. You got Gene Hackman. You got Leonardo DiCaprio. It has really great storytelling with the characters and the development of the characters and a story that starts off with, and then it's got a resolution at the end where the main protagonist kind of fulfills something that happened to them when they were a child that haunted them their whole life. And I just really enjoy that story significantly. So if anybody hasn't seen it, it's a movie that I like to share with people.
Heck yeah.
My number 2 movie would probably be Princess Bride because it's just a classic fantasy.
Yeah.
Wallace Shawn with Inconceivable and just the Man in Black and Inigo Montoya. It's a story people remember because it's so the lines are just delivered in such a way. The sword fighting and Grandpa telling the story to his kid, Fred Savage.
Yeah, it has an element of like Shakespearean theater to me, I think.
And the sword fight is just garbage by comparison to realism, but it's fancy.
Yeah.
There's been people that analyze that fight versus other movies, and it doesn't make sense to really sword fight that way. But it's memorable because of I'm not left-handed. And
yeah.
People remember that stuff. It's just good.
Yeah, it's the
good
comedy
fantasy
of it all.
Yeah.
So those are really good picks. Quick and the Dead and Princess Bride.
Yeah, I won't tell you my third. We'll just start with those 2.
That's fine. It's going to be stupidly difficult for me to narrow this down at all because I fucking love sci-fi. I think that might be where my favorites live. So The Matrix is really up there for me for a lot of reasons, by the way. The Wachowski, I think they're sisters now?
Sisters now.
Yes, I couldn't remember. So their ability to like twin direct a movie in general over time has been fucking amazing to watch. But more than that, and this is where the nerd happens, I apologize. They were the ones that pioneered the technique. Everybody remembers the Trinity kick where she freezes in midair.
Bullet time, essentially.
That, but before Neo was doing the bullet dodging. But yes, bullet time after a fashion. So the trick shot is they lined up, I think, 100 cameras in a semicircle, all filming just very quickly at the same time, the height of Trinity's jump. And then what you do is you move from shot to shot very quickly, so it looks like a camera that's on a dolly swinging around the room while time has stopped. Insane production technique. So and the writing and the metaphors and the themes and the motifs of the Matrix are just fucking amazing. I think it's timeless. A newer favorite of mine, you know what I'm going to say.
Oh, I will see.
You probably know what I'm going to say. A newer favorite of mine. I am generally not a fan. I'm going to just come out here and be controversial. I'm generally not a fan of, holy shit, what is his name? I'm already forgetting.
Tom Cruise?
Tom Cruise. Because you know what I'm going to say. Yeah.
Okay.
So, I'm not a huge fan of Tom Cruise, but I'm starting to explore more of his films. And I thought the guy was a great actor anyway. I definitely think that now, because my other newer favorite film is The Last Samurai. And that is...
You're welcome.
Yeah, that was a Damaron introduction. That quite literally was peak cinema, in my opinion. It was an incredible story. And it's not sci-fi. It's feudal Japan, basically, right? So it's, maybe a little later, but it's good, and it feels like history. I'm also really not into history films, like old history or period pieces, and that really did something for me. So loved that. If we get into the world of fantasy, as you were just talking about, for me, it's The Never-Ending Story.
That's a good one.
Only the first one.
Yeah,
only the first
I can
one.
agree to that.
That I would even call a cult classic, but that's nostalgia. That's a movie I grew up with. Falcor's a fucking idiot, but he's awesome,
I'm a luck dragon.
Yeah, that voice actor, incredible.
Even when it comes to The Matrix, the first one is by far my favorite. The other two, the second one hits okay, the third one not so much for me.
I will be honest, though. The second one has my favorite scene in the entire trilogy. The entire highway scene.
Oh, that fight was
so good. Also, Neo fighting all the Smiths, every time, that's great. But specifically the highway scene, because the song that is, obviously the cinematography is incredible, but the song that is played in that scene is written by a band called Juno Reactor.
Okay.
I
remember there's some Rage Against the Machine in there too.
Yes. But Juno Reactor is the band I gravitated towards because they combine, and I'm very much not summarizing this correctly, but they combine elements of classical, I want to say Indian, but it might be a different part of the Middle East, and techno. So they threw all the fucking seasoning in the pan with this music and made these songs. So they made that song during the highway scene. They also made the song in the third movie when Neo and Smith have their final battle. They also wrote that song. And those two songs are some of my favorite music of all time. That band in general. I'm getting sidetracked a little bit. So The Matrix.
Yeah, The Matrix, Last Samurai.
Never-Ending Story.
A Never-Ending Story.
I also really liked Maleficent.
Yeah, I remember I've seen it in theater. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Different perspective for a character that's seen as a villain.
Yeah, because we live in the age of sequel, which fucking sucks. But they actually took the other person's perspective and made a really fucking cool story. And Angelina Jolie, every time, is great. I don't remember the actress's name, but the woman who played Aurora went on to be Catherine the Great in that new Netflix show, which is just called The Great. Her range of acting is also incredible. So it's just cool to see. Oh my God. So many favorite movies.
We're going places.
We're doing it. So kind of a broader question.
Sure.
But what is your favorite genre?
I like Westerns. I like science fiction, space
You do
movies.
like Westerns.
Horror is a big hit for me. It has been since I was young. I guess I have a real taste for the macabre because it's been something that's been embedded in my life since I was a child.
Oh, yeah.
When I got started in movie making, it was in the horror area as well. Comedy kind of hits, depending on what it is. I like psychodramas. Films that have good dialogue versus over-the-top green screen or things that are just unbelievable. I like grounded realism when it comes to a lot of films.
But you like sci-fi.
Yeah, sci-fi because you could still believe that it occurs. It may not be within this time period, but
Sure.
like Aliens is a big one that a lot of people talk about.
Yeah.
Sigourney Weaver and her performance there.
And I love her, by the way. Just saying.
I do too. She's one of my favorite actresses. That story has carried on to, like Prometheus. This is how that came to be, where the xenomorph became something that was discovered.
I think about like The Incredibles, for example.
That was such a good movie.
So the first one, of course, classic. I mean, but and then even in the first one, they left pieces for the second one to pick up from, right?
Right.
So they created the ability to sequel, but the humor of the first one is so specific to, I don't remember what year it came out, but 2010 or early 2000s, whatever. It was so specific to that time. And then you have the second one that comes out, and all of that humor is specific to early
whatever was happening at that time.
Yeah, early 2020s, whatever it was. But like it was the writing was really good. It was very attentive to the ongoings of society to be able to have that commentary that makes sense, right? And it didn't feel cheap. I don't think the second one had the exact same magic as the first one, but you know what I really loved about the second one actually was Elastigirl became the main character instead of Mr. Incredible. It was her story instead of his story, and I thought that was a really good mirror for the second film.
It's funny you mentioned The Incredibles.
I love Edna.
It has me thinking about the following that goes with movies, the things that make it a cult classic.
Yes.
And people still look into this lore even today. And I just seen
the socials.
I just seen a short to really get you to think. Mr. Incredible fighting that bot in the volcano.
Yeah.
That was meant for Frozone.
Right.
And all of those specific deaths, those robots were designed to kill off those heroes,
a specific hero,
because of their abilities. And then they proposed that the Cape incidents was something that was frontlined as a media lie so that they could cover the murders that were being done to those heroes.
Ooh, so one of these was like a tornado bot? That's what we're saying? Oh, damn.
The guy that was sucked into the vortex via his cape, his powers were water powers, and he could breathe in water. How would a hurricane stop him or kill him?
I think, was it a hurricane, though? I thought it was a tornado.
One got sucked in through a plane turbine. One got sucked in through a hurricane.
Oh, maybe it was a hurricane then.
And you don't think about these things when you watch it, but there are people that follow movies and come up with different fan theories and even new writing for different stories. And it's incredible the way the movies can just bring new ideas to the table for a lot of things.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think cult classics are the best example of this, how fandom just erupts online and evolves because oh my God, Zootopia obviously hit furries really hard, right? So
sure,
there was that kind of cult uprising, but The Room even being probably the quintessential cult classic, like, no, it didn't hit at the time, but there is a massive community for this movie online, in person, wherever. So sure. Yeah, and then, I think about like Harry Potter, for example.
Oh God, yeah.
Which I know is a little controversial, but that the community or the fans of Harry Potter, there's still Tumblr posts and Twitter threads and Reddit posts that are happening to this day about how that universe works. So, for better or worse, there are fictional universes that humans create, and it drives a lot of interesting conversation. Hello, fuzzies, and hey, all you movie-loving humans out there. Oh my God, are you enjoying this podcast so far? Well, we have a show called Pause Play on YouTube where we love to get on camera and just talk a bunch. We have fursuits, we have games, we have improv, and we all share a passion for all things camera. Full episodes from seasons 1 and 2 are available for free, so please consider checking us out and subscribing to get notifications of new episodes. We can't wait to see you over there. Back to the show. We were talking about favorite genres. So you had mentioned sci-fi and horror. And westerns. I also love sci-fi, really like horror. Specifically, I like shitty horror. I don't like honestly, and I'm gonna be kind of a whore for saying this on air, but like I think I would consider Saw pretty shitty horror.
Yeah.
It's because there's too many.
Okay.
It's too long. It's too much. Like,
But you like it.
I like it because I think Jigsaw, the idea of Jigsaw is fucking hilarious. Like,
The guy that played Jigsaw is in Quick and the Dead, you know.
yes, he is. Yeah. So, but I also, as I'm getting older, is in my 30s more specifically, like I am really tuning in. The kids' movies nowadays are amazing. So we watched Nimona, we watched Encanto. I haven't seen Moana
Really
yet.
kids movies though.
I mean, Disney. They're targeted at Disney adults because that's where the money is. But kids would also enjoy them. Was it Frozen? That obviously went over really well. The Lorax is a bit of an older call. I liked the Lorax movie. But the kids movies nowadays are really like they're as magical as the 90s movies were in a different way. Instead of being 2D, now everything's 3D, and the music's a little bit different. The themes are a little more progressive, in my opinion. You know,
Sure.
So I guess I'm talking Disney, Pixar, that range of things. But you know, the movies are really, really good. So I'm definitely getting into like the feel good shit too.
What are your thoughts on all of the recent live action remakes of films that were only out maybe 10 or 15 years ago?
So the only example that I'm willing to discuss at this time is Shrek, because that musical was incredible. Shrek the musical. Are you kidding me? What a goddamn experience.
Wow, that's not actually what I was talking about. But,
Well, it's screened to live action, though.
but that's like a real live action
Yes,
situation.
yes.
I'm talking like you had the Lion King, and then they did like an updated version of the Lion King.
So
or
you're saying converting more to
more
realism.
recently there was How to Train Your Dragon.
You're saying converting more to realism.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they're making them.
The Lion King, they shit the bed.
Yeah.
Like, the new one, they really... Because Simba had no fucking eyebrows and no fucking emotions. He could have been Data from freaking The Next Generation. Like, it was bad.
I hate this.
Would you like
revolting.
more? Would you like more?
Please.
More, please. Yeah, also Simba had no taste buds. But, like, yeah, I don't know. It's just some of the live action, or that's what you meant by live action.
Yeah.
Now I understand.
Yeah,
Okay.
How to Train Your Dragon has been remade, and then we've got
That I haven't
Lilo
seen.
and Stitch.
Okay. And then people got really spicy about The Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
I think everyone can retell stories. What's happening with sequels now, though, is the writing is crap.
Well, let's rewind the clock a little bit. How many sequels were really that great after the original?
So The Incredibles, I would say, did fine. I liked the Matrix trilogy. I'll be honest. I liked all of them. I know they didn't hit like the first one.
Think about that, though. It's a trilogy. So it's a continuation of what was. So where's the story
Is that
going to go?
Is that not a sequel? What other movies? Oh, so like Maleficent, I would call that a sequel of sorts.
No, I wouldn't call. You mean? Well, they did make a sequel of Maleficent.
So yes, Maleficent itself has a sequel, but the overall concept. Well, no, you're right.
I think it's a different telling of the same story,
Yeah,
but you're getting a different perspective.
The original one is the story.
I wouldn't call Maleficent a sequel myself.
Was that Michelle Pfeiffer, by the way?
I thought it was
Was she the evil?
Angelina Jolie. I thought.
No, she was Maleficent, but I thought Michelle Pfeiffer was Aurora's mom. She was like the evil queen.
I haven't seen it in so long.
Oh
I don't
my god!
remember.
You know what? We're gonna find out.
Sure.
This is the segment.
We're not
of the
fucking around. We're going to find out for real.
We're not fucking around yet. Let's be clear. So this segment of the show is the part where I Google something.
Okay.
Hey Google, who played the evil queen in Maleficent 2?
Michelle Pfeiffer played the evil Queen Ingrid in Maleficent, Mistress of Evil.
Hey Google, thank you.
You're welcome.
How about that?
And that was a fun little segment. So it was Michelle Pfeiffer.
Speaking of Michelle Pfeiffer,
Catwoman.
not only Catwoman, but I would say
was it Stardust?
Stardust.
Yeah,
That
that's
was
a
like
good one.
The modern version of Princess Bride, in my perspective.
That
She
you
was-
showed me that movie.
Yeah, she was like the evil witch in that one.
Who played the star?
Yvain was the character. I don't know the actress.
Let's find out. Hey Google, who played the main character in Stardust?
The fox is doing the polite Google talking again.
Charlie Cox played Tristan Thorne, the main character in the movie Stardust.
Hey Google, who played the star in Stardust?
In the movie Stardust, Claire Danes played
Claire
Elaine,
Danes, that's
a fallen
correct.
star.
Do we know her? Because she's objectively gorgeous. Like, I don't recall seeing her in any other films.
I don't follow her too much, but I'm sure she's probably been in other films.
Okay. So now that we're talking about it,
Stardust?
no. Favorite actors.
Oh.
Favorite actresses.
Oh.
We've actually had this
Are we
conversation
talking like
before.
smash or pass? Or are we talking like who is our favorite? We want to go see it because they're in it.
So it can be smash or pass, but it's definitely who do you want to see?
Golly.
So I'll start.
Thanks.
Tilda Swinton.
Man, she's a good one.
Love her. Sigourney Weaver. I just drew a blank. I loved Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman. I loved Halle Berry as Catwoman. They were phenomenal. Oh, Halle Berry is great in X-Men as well. She was Storm. Loved her.
She's doing great in John Wick.
Ryan Reynolds is hot and funny and objectively good at his job. I don't need to see every movie he's in. Who else? Oh, Liam Neeson, obvi.
Yeah, but are we talking...
I'm talking Aslan from the Chronicles of Narnia.
All right. He's going to be a Naked Gun, and that really draws me back to...
When you were naked with a gun.
No. Liam Neeson.
He was Qui-Gon, of course, in Star Wars.
He's going to be a Naked Gun now, and that makes me think of... why can't I remember his name right now? He was in Airplane, white head of hair.
Doc Brown.
No, that's Christopher Lloyd.
He's funny too.
Son of a biscuit. I can't think right now.
You have to ask.
I have to ask,
Hey Google, who had the white hair in Airplane?
who was the star?
Leslie Nielsen had the white
Leslie
hair.
Nielsen. You bastard.
Google is fucking amazing. I asked who had the white hair in Airplane.
Of course they
and
know.
It gave me the
They
name.
gave me the right answer. Oh, kick my white ass. I don't know my actors.
We have to talk about Leslie Nielsen because we have to talk about Creepshow.
That one really did it to you.
Okay, you know I love horror, and I can't believe I haven't talked about Stephen King yet. I fucking love
Does
Stephen
a lot of
King.
great stuff.
Oh yeah, I also love Stanley Kubrick, unrelated, but The Shining. You know. Anyway, so
Now, are you talking Jack Nicholson Shining or the one that's more
Jack
clear to
Nicholson.
Okay.
Yeah. So Creepshow was a movie of many movies. The third one, I don't recall the name of it, but they're on
To tide you over.
to tide you over. So I guess I'm going to spoil a little tiny bit of it, but essentially the part that really did it for me is imagine you're held at gunpoint and a person says you need to dig a hole in the sand. You're on the beach and they say dig a hole in the sand deep enough for you to stand up in. And then they tell you to stand in the hole. And then as they're holding the gun, they pile the sand back on top of you so that all that's exposed is your neck and your head. And then they just leave you there. They get in their car and they drive away. And then, of course, there's a tide that happens and then you drown. All the while, there's a fucking disgusting tube TV on a shitty cart that's showing you how your significant other died the same way. So I've spoiled the entire movie now.
The psychological horror behind that really hit the fox bad.
It was crazy.
He had, I would say, weeks of trauma thinking about this situation, and if it ever occurred to them, it would be the most horrific thing at the time.
Yeah, and what's really bizarre about it is I consider other forms of helplessness, right? Like you're skydiving and you have no parachute or something. Like those things are obviously horrific. But for some reason, it was that level of helplessness and truly not being able to escape that like really fucked me. Just to kind of, I think this is a great ending, honestly. So what would you say are the qualities of a good movie? So regardless of genre, director, actors, scene, any production stuff, regardless of that, what are the qualities, or even writing, right? So like, but what are the qualities of a good movie?
You can't, wow. Qualities of good, well, I like films that tend to have a moment of pause and there is a good amount of dialogue that happens that tells the story of what's going on between the characters and what brought them there.
Yeah.
And it's relatable in that that's how we deal with things as people. We talk about our lives and what's occurred to help us get through our problems.
Right.
And then the rest of the film kind of tells a story about how it gets to the resolution. Storytelling is probably valuable to me when it comes to film in general.
But you specifically like it said, not necessarily shown.
Yes.
Interesting.
Because the imagination can tell the rest of the story. You don't need
That's
to
fascinating.
have everything put on a silver plate and shown to you. Let the mind do its thing, and you can paint your own picture as to how things occurred by what was said. And I guess the primary example I would use for something like that would be a classic film called Jaws.
Oh, yeah.
The SS Indianapolis speech. That is where Quint and Chief Brody and Hooper are in the Orca having dinner, and they're showing off their scars, and then they start talking about this or that and the other thing about their scars. And Chief Brody has a quiet moment where he lifts up his shirt and he has a few gunshot wounds, but he doesn't talk about it. So you wonder, well, what did he go through? But he didn't tell you anything, but you can see the gunshot wounds. And then Quint talks about his tattoo being removed, which was delivering the bomb. And he tells this whole story about it, what it was like to be rescued. And it paints the whole picture of how sharks are so scary because you're clinging to life with your friends in the water, and only nature is there to kind of tell you if you're going to live or die. And he was most scared when he was about to be rescued because he was waiting for his turn to be rescued, and he would never put on a life preserver again. That's relatable. If you were in that situation, it would be horrific. You want to live, you want to cling to life as much as possible, but then if you were ever in it again, you probably wouldn't do it the same way because you know what could happen.
Yeah. I will say, I think for something like Jaws specifically, where you have this horror movie, using scary stories around the campfire to kind of deliver the motivation of these characters, right? Because that's what you're doing, is they're sharing these stories because they're not only establishing who they are as people, but you're also trying to really create the reason for the film, right? And of course, it's Moby Dick, right? It's Ahab and Ishmael and all, whatever, the white whale. But you're delivering kind of the mechanism of the film in this grand speech via this scary story type environment. And I think for a horror film, that delivery works really, really well. Other genres do it differently. The kids movie, you're probably doing it through song if it's a musical, right?
Think about Last Samurai.
Well, Last Samurai was brilliant.
They had the conversation between Tom Cruise and the Japanese captors. I'm just blanking on the name right now.
But truly, like, he was the only one who spoke English, which in itself was incredible because that was Tom Cruise's lifeline to this society, was this one guy that was initially like, oh, I think he's playing games with me, but really he's teaching a philosophy,
Yeah.
And it's incredible to see. So for you like the root of the story pitched in the right way.
Yes.
Yeah. And that makes a good film. So I think for me, when I consider a film a good film, I'm looking for maybe not necessarily relatability. That does help. It helps. I don't need it necessarily. I just need when the story gives you a perspective into something that you may not have thought of before.
That's always good too.
Or that you may not have seen or understood. So, Encanto, for example, is super interesting because you have, of course, a Latin family, and they're telling the story of like, oh, well, we've created this whole society, we have all these magic powers, and everybody's great, except for this girl, Mirabelle, who has nothing, she's just a human, like the rest of the peons or whatever, right? But actually, her gift is reality, if you want to look at it that way.
Sure.
So it's sort of course it's a coming of age story, but the perspective is very, very real, especially in certain families, I would say. Like I think it happened in my family a little bit too. When you put that much pressure on a kid to be something, and like, I don't know who's going to tune into this episode. I don't care. I mean, but like, I was the firstborn guy in my generation of family. And so there was a pressure to be like, oh, well, I have to, marry and have kids, and very Italian things.
Sure.
Right. So, and then that didn't happen. So, but I think a lot of kids and a lot of adults for sure can relate to like, you maybe had a vision put in front of you growing up, and then either you did that or you didn't, and you completely subverted it, and you made your own reality, and you made your own future and your own path, right? So even if I don't have the perspective of being raised in a Spanish family, a Mexican family, Latin family, whatever, I can very much relate to that's a fuckload of pressure for a 16-year-old,
God, yes. Going back to Encanto, since that one touched you, the strong sister.
Oh,
and when she finally got to open up about how terrified she was when what happens when I finally fail.
Yep.
Golly, that's a lot of pressure.
And that's
the
something?
Same kind of pressure that a lot of families put on their prodigal child.
Yeah. Because think about like, oh, I'm a whiz at math, or like, I'm really interested in deconstructing clocks and radios and things. So now the expectation is I'm going to do IT. I'm going to do hardware. I'm going to be in a repair shop somewhere or whatever. I'm going to have a bachelor's in engineering. And all along you were like, no, actually, I just want to make stupid videos on the internet.
Right.
Like it's serious. Like, and I guess to that extent, it's society in general. It's worse when it's your family, but it's society in general. Society puts a lot of pressure on people. So I think, for me, there's still a relatable theme in that specific movie. And I would say most movies in general that I like, there's going to be something I resonate with. But getting the perspective that you may not have seen before can also be very impactful.
Sure can.
And that
might even change your whole direction of life.
Honestly, yeah. Well, Mr. Waffle.
Yes, Foxel.
You are a cinephile, and I appreciate you for joining me on this discussion about movies.
Apparently, I'm more of a cinephile than even I realize. So,
and now you know. Well, that's it from us about movies. OMG. Take 3 cut. Or don't. I don't know. But what's your guys' favorite movie, favorite actor, favorite genre? Let us know in the comments. I would love to maybe explore some movies I haven't seen before. So get in the comments,
Even more so, folks, if you really hit on some of the movies we talked about today, like Incredibles or Jaws or Quick and the Dead, if those are movies you liked and you have other ideas that you want to share with us, let us know. Because actually that could be fun to talk about.
Lots of things to talk about. Don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe, click the bell. You'll get notified when new episodes are coming out. And that's honestly all we have. I could talk about movies for forever, but I won't, because you'd be here for forever, and that would suck. Thanks for tuning into PawsCast. We will see you in the next episode. Bye.
That's a cut. Wrap it up.
And that's a wrap.